Have you ever wondered why some interactions with women just don't flow the way you expect? Why that conversation that seemed so promising suddenly cooled off? The answer might lie in habits you cultivate without noticing. The good news is, that awareness is the first step toward change. We're about to dive into the behaviors that instantly push women away and, more importantly, how to transform them into strengths. We've all lived through that situation. The date starts out. Well, the conversation flows, you share some laughs, but suddenly something changes. Her interest diminishes, her messages get shorter, and meetups become rarer. It's not a coincidence, nor bad luck. Most of the time, it's patterns of behavior that sabotage your chances before you even get to show who you really are. Building. Healthy relationships isn't some inaccessible mystery, but it fundamentally depends on self-awareness. When you don't know yourself, you become a hostage to automatic behaviors that may have been undermining your love life for years. Self-respect and emotional balance are essential pillars on this journey. Without them, you build castles on quicksand. The attitudes that weaken your self-confidence and breed insecurity act like invisible barriers. They prevent the formation of deep and lasting connections. You may have amazing qualities, but if these negative habits dominate, those qualities remain overshadowed, like diamonds covered in mud. The first of these devastating habits is feeling inferior, constantly undervaluing yourself. This behavior corrodes your self-esteem and projects an image of insecurity that women quickly pick up on. When you place yourself in an inferior position, you're communicating that you don't consider yourself worthy of admiration or respect. It's like starting a game by declaring yourself the loser. Think of the times you put yourself down during a conversation, maybe to seem humble or avoid appearing arrogant. "I'm not that good at this." You've probably met guys way better. "My job isn't that big of a deal." These statements might sound harmless, but they plant a seed of doubt in her mind. If he doesn't value himself, why should I? Experts in behavioral psychology note that constant self-deprecation not only harms your personal image, but also creates a vicious cycle that's hard to break. You put yourself down, you receive less interest in return, which confirms your belief that you're not enough, leading to even more self-deprecation. To break this cycle, start by recognizing your genuine strengths. You don't have to brag or inflate your achievements. Authentic confidence comes from sincere self-knowledge, from understanding your strong points as well as your limitations, without drama. When you show up with that balanced confidence, you radiate a security that naturally attracts the people around you. Try replacing self-deprecation with neutral or positive statements. Instead of, "I'm not very good at this," try, "I'm always learning and improving in that area." Instead of downplaying your achievements, acknowledge the effort you put into them. This subtle shift in language reflects a deeper change in how you see yourself. The second habit that instantly pushes women away is talking too much and listening too little. Effective communication is a two-way street, where open dialogue and active listening are crucial. When you monopolize the conversation, you send a clear message. Your stories, opinions, and experiences are more important than hers. Have you noticed how some people make you feel heard, understood, and valued, even after a brief exchange? That's the power of genuine listening. It's not just about staying silent while the other person speaks, but about truly being present, absorbing not only her words, but the emotion behind them. Many men fall into the trap of trying to impress with elaborate stories, career highlights, or broad knowledge. They want to show their value by talking about themselves. But true value is demonstrated when you make the other person feel special, and that happens when you show genuine interest in her. Practice balance in the conversation. After you talk about yourself, follow up with a sincere question. "What do you think about that?" Or, "What was your experience with that like?" Avoid interrupting or finishing her sentences, which can convey impatience and a lack of respect. When she's talking, focus completely. Don't formulate your next line or check your phone. Active listening creates an environment of exchange and empathy that counters selfishness. When you show that you value her perspective, you build a connection far deeper than mere initial physical attraction. You demonstrate emotional maturity and the capacity to form a balanced relationship. The third habit that instantly pushes women away is the inability to keep the conversation both engaging and light. This isn't about having an endless list of topics or being a professional storyteller. The key issue is authenticity in your personal narratives, which far outweighs any contrived or exaggerated story. Sincerity, even if imperfect, builds a bridge of trust. Women are good at detecting fake or embellished stories. When you try to seem like more than you really are, you create an artificial image you won't be able to sustain for long. It's like putting up a fancy facade on an empty building. It might impress at first glance, but it won't pass a closer inspection. A genuinely interesting conversation flows naturally when you share your real passions, your authentic experiences, and even your vulnerabilities. Don't be afraid to show enthusiasm for what truly excites you, whether it's music, literature, sports, or anything else. Genuine enthusiasm is contagious and far more appealing than a calculated posture of false sophistication. Also, avoid the extremes of conversation. Don't be so superficial that you're limited to commenting on the weather or vague generalities. And don't go too heavy by immediately diving into controversial or traumatic topics. Find the middle ground, starting with light subjects that still reveal who you are and what you value. Learn to gauge her interest in the conversation. If she asks follow-up questions, keeps eye contact, and participates actively, you're on the right track. If she answers with monosyllables, frequently checks the time or her phone, it's time to change the subject or your approach. Flexibility is key to keeping the interaction flowing and engaging. The fourth habit that instantly pushes women away is neglecting your appearance and personal hygiene. This isn't about chasing unrealistic beauty standards or turning yourself into someone you're not. It's about showing respect for yourself and for the person you're meeting. Self-care is a sign of self-respect. When you take time with your appearance, you're showing that you value yourself and consider the date important enough to prepare adequately. This ranges from basic hygiene, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, trimming your nails, to choosing clean, appropriate clothing for the occasion. Many men underestimate the impact of appearance on first impressions. It's not about having the perfect physique or wearing designer brands. It's about showing that you take care of yourself. A bit of stubble can be attractive if it's intentional and well-groomed, but not if it's just the result of neglect. Wrinkled or stained clothes signal a lack of organization and attention to detail. Scent is another often neglected element. A subtle, pleasant fragrance can leave a lasting impression, while body odor or bad breath can instantly ruin any initial attraction. Invest in basic hygiene products and use cologne in moderation. The idea is for her to want to be close, not to pull away. Taking care of your appearance shows discipline and personal value, qualities that reflect positively in all areas of life. It's not about excessive vanity, but about presenting the best version of yourself. When you show you respect yourself, enough to care about your appearance, you're paving the way for others to respect you as well. The fifth habit that instantly pushes women away is clingy behavior and excessive emotional neediness. Showing interest is one thing. Smothering someone with constant attention is a whole other story. The line between displaying affection and appearing desperate is subtle but vital for any healthy relationship. When you display exaggerated emotional dependence early on, you send multiple problematic signals: that you don't have a fulfilling life of your own, that you might place disproportionate expectations on her, that you could become controlling, or that you won't respect her personal space. Constant messages asking where she is, who she's with, when she'll reply, repeated calls with no real reason, premature jealousy of friends or coworkers, expecting her to be available at all times. These behaviors suffocate personal freedom and make it impossible to build a healthy connection. Autonomy and independence are indispensable for a harmonious relationship. A healthy bond is formed by two whole people who choose to share their lives, not by two halves desperately seeking completion in each other. Keep up with your own activities, friendships, and interests. Continue investing in your personal life even when you meet someone who interests you romantically. Respect her time and space. If she takes a while to answer a text, don't send multiple messages asking why she's silent. If she says she needs time alone or with friends, accept it without drama. This mature approach conveys emotional stability and respect for boundaries, qualities that are extremely attractive. Remember, attraction grows in the space between you. When you give her the freedom to miss you, to think of you when you're not around, you create the ideal environment for genuine interest to flourish. Like a plant needing space for its roots to grow strong, a relationship needs the right balance of closeness and individuality. The sixth habit that instantly pushes women away is showing overly intense emotions early in the relationship. Maybe you've heard that women appreciate men who express feelings, and that's true. However, there's a crucial difference between being emotionally open and unloading all your emotional baggage after just a few dates. Intense declarations of love in the first few weeks, premature future planning, sharing deep traumas or complex family issues too soon. These behaviors can scare off even the most open-minded and understanding individuals. It's like trying to run before you've learned to walk. The result is almost always a painful fall. Gradual emotional development is essential so that true intimacy can grow naturally. Every relationship has its own rhythm, and rushing it rarely leads to good outcomes. Allow trust to build organically through shared experiences and gradual revelations. There's a delicate balance to be struck. You shouldn't come across as emotionally unavailable or distant, but neither should you turn the early stages of dating into therapy sessions or launch into blockbuster-worthy romantic declarations. Share aspects of your emotional life little by little, noticing how she responds, and respecting the level of intimacy you've established so far. Keep in mind that authentic vulnerability, when appropriate to the stage of the relationship, is very different from emotional dependency or neediness. The first strengthens the connection, the latter weighs it down. Vulnerability means sharing real parts of who you are, acknowledging your imperfections without constantly apologizing for them, and maintaining self-respect. The seventh habit that instantly pushes women away is a lack of emotional control. In a world that often teaches men that anger is the only acceptable emotion to show in public, many develop a problematic relationship with the full range of their feelings. Yet the ability to recognize, process, and express emotions in a healthy way is crucial for both your quality of life and your relationships. Outbursts of anger over trivial matters, irrational jealousy, insecurity shown as control, abrupt mood swings without explanation. These behaviors signal emotional instability and immaturity. A woman who sees these signs in the early stages naturally wonders what a long-term relationship with someone like that would be like. Emotional impulsiveness rarely leads to good decisions. When you react immediately out of a strong emotion, without taking time to process it properly, you often end up saying or doing things you'll regret later. Repeating this pattern creates an environment of insecurity and unpredictability that poisons any relationship. Developing emotional intelligence is an ongoing process that benefits every part of your life. Start by identifying your emotions, not just the obvious ones like anger or joy, but subtler ones like disappointment, frustration, insecurity, or vulnerability. Naming them is the first step toward processing them properly. When you feel a strong emotion, take a moment before reacting. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself what you're really feeling and why. Often, anger is just the outer layer of deeper emotions like fear or sadness. Understanding the root of your emotional reaction helps you communicate it in a more constructive manner. Don't be ashamed to seek professional help if you realize your emotions often spin out of control. Therapy isn't just for severe crises. It's a valuable tool for anyone interested in personal growth. A good therapist can help you identify problematic emotional patterns and develop healthier ways to cope. The eighth and final habit that instantly pushes women away is excessive self-criticism, combined with a constant need for external validation. This behavior is particularly insidious because it can present itself in many forms and isn't always obvious. It might appear as frequent requests for reassurance. Do you really like me? "Do I really have a chance with you?" as self-deprecating comments hoping for contradiction, or as endless attempts to check where the relationship stands. The insecurity fueling these behaviors is understandable. We've all had moments of doubt. But when it becomes an ongoing pattern, it creates an emotional burden for the other person, who ends up having to constantly affirm her feelings and intentions. Over time, that leads to emotional exhaustion and distance. Moreover, the constant quest for external validation reflects a fundamental disconnection with yourself. When you rely excessively on someone else's approval to feel worthy, you hand over your personal power and place your self-esteem in someone else's hands, an extremely unstable foundation for any relationship. Personal growth and improved relationships hinge on recognizing and continually overcoming your own limitations. This means accepting that you, like everyone else, have imperfections without allowing them to diminish your intrinsic worth. It also means developing a compassionate inner voice that acknowledges your mistakes without punishing you harshly for them. Value authenticity over perfection. The deepest and most meaningful connections don't emerge from projecting a flawless, idealized version of yourself. They come from showing up honestly, with all your complexities and contradictions. Paradoxically, it's that courage to be imperfect that attracts more authentic and fulfilling relationships. Take a moment now to reflect on how these 8 habits may be showing up in your life. You might immediately recognize some of them, while others may require more careful observation of your behavior patterns. Awareness is always the first step toward any meaningful change. The path of personal transformation isn't linear or fast. There will be days of visible progress and days that feel like setbacks. The important thing is to remain committed to your growth without getting discouraged by the inevitable challenges. Each small positive change sends ripples through every area of your life, not just your romantic relationships. Investing in self-awareness and self-care expands your capacity not only to attract healthier relationships, but also to regulate your emotions and improve your overall quality of life. Consider resources like coaching, therapy, and reading personal development books as worthwhile investments in yourself. A powerful exercise is to watch yourself as though you're an outside observer during social interactions. What impression are you giving? How might your words and actions be interpreted? This temporary detachment helps identify patterns that can slip under the radar when you're fully immersed in your own experiences. Let go of the urge to compare yourself to unrealistic standards and the relentless pursuit of external approval. Build your own identity, free from social pressures and judgments that restrict your potential. Remember that authentic confidence doesn't come from being perfect, but from being at peace with who you are while continually working to become a better version of yourself. Become the main character in your own transformation process. Recognize that changing ingrained habits demands patience and persistence. Celebrate every small victory and learn from the difficult moments. True change happens through consistent daily actions, not occasional grand gestures. As you work to eliminate these habits that push women away, you naturally create space to cultivate qualities that attract them. Authenticity, respect, emotional balance, independence, a good sense of humor, genuine presence. These aren't manipulative tactics to win someone over, but expressions of your best self. Imagine how your life would be if you replaced these detrimental habits with behaviors that foster meaningful connections. Picture what it would be like to interact with women from a place of inner security and authenticity, rather than insecurity and the need for approval. Envision building a relationship based on mutual respect and clear communication, instead of emotional games and unspoken expectations. This is the invitation I leave you with. Become aware of the habits that may be sabotaging your chances of creating fulfilling relationships, and commit to a continuous process of personal transformation. Not to please others or meet external expectations, but to honor your own potential and experience relationships that reflect your true worth. The ability to form genuine, deep connections is among life's most rewarding experiences. When you free yourself from the habits that drive people away, you open the door to a new way of relating, more authentic, more satisfying, and infinitely more enriching. The journey begins with a simple act of courage, looking at yourself honestly and recognizing what needs to change. That look shouldn't be judgmental, but compassionately understanding. We all develop certain habits as protective mechanisms at some point in our lives. Acknowledging that some of them no longer serve us is a sign of maturity, not failure. Mentally review your recent interactions with women you found interesting. Can you identify moments when any of these 8 habits cropped up? How might the interaction have gone differently if you'd acted otherwise? This reflection isn't meant to fuel self-criticism, but to raise your awareness for future encounters. Remember that genuine change comes from within. Superficial techniques might create the illusion of transformation, but only authentic shifts in how you view yourself and engage with the world will yield lasting results. That means the real work happens in moments of solitude, when no one else is watching, in the small daily commitments you make to yourself. Develop the habit of observing yourself without judgment. When you catch yourself falling into one of the patterns we've discussed, just note it without condemning yourself. Interesting. I'm putting myself down again. Or, I notice I'm monopolizing the conversation. That awareness alone creates room for different choices down the road. Patience is essential in this process. Habits formed over years or decades won't vanish overnight. There will be relapses, moments of frustration, and times you realize you acted exactly as you were trying to avoid. In these instances, kindness toward yourself is just as crucial as your commitment to change. Every interaction is a fresh opportunity. What happened in the past, yesterday, last week, or 10 years ago, doesn't have to dictate your actions today. This perspective frees you from the weight of past mistakes and opens the door to new possibilities. Each time you choose to act with authenticity and respect, you rewrite your personal story. As with any meaningful journey, the path to personal transformation is smoother when it's not walked alone. Consider building a support network. Trusted friends, mentors, professionals. People who can give you honest feedback and genuine encouragement. Sharing your struggles and celebrating your progress with others makes the process richer and more sustainable. By eliminating these habits that push women away, you'll also cultivate qualities that enhance all your relationships, not just romantic ones, but also friendships, family ties, and professional interactions. The ability to communicate clearly, respect boundaries, express emotions in a healthy way, and value yourself appropriately are universal skills that benefit everyone. Finally, remember that the ultimate goal of this journey isn't merely to succeed with women, but to become a more integrated, authentic version of yourself. Someone who lives with integrity, treats both themselves and others with respect, and continues to grow and learn. When you become that person, healthy relationships follow naturally, not as achievements, but as organic expressions of who you are. Real transformation doesn't promise an absence of challenges or a guarantee of specific results. Instead, it offers something far more valuable: the freedom to live from a place of authenticity and self-knowledge without the limitations imposed by unconscious, self-destructive patterns. That is the true measure of personal success. With every small step in that direction, you're not just improving your chances of forming meaningful relationships, you're reclaiming your personal power and honoring your unique journey as an ever-evolving human being. The invitation stands. The choice, as always, is yours. This journey of self-discovery and personal transformation is ongoing and infinitely rewarding. Each small victory over these limiting habits marks a step toward your best self. Picture yourself a year from now, free from the patterns that have sabotaged your relationships. Envision the authentic confidence you'll radiate, rooted not in external validation, but in deep self-knowledge and self-acceptance. Women are naturally drawn to men who demonstrate consistency between what they say and how they act, who have purpose and direction in life, who know how to balance strength and vulnerability. These qualities aren't innate, but are developed through conscious choices and consistent practice. The good news is that you've already started this process simply by being willing to recognize the habits that need changing. Keep in mind that this transformation isn't about altering your core essence or becoming someone you're not. On the contrary, it's about peeling away the layers of learned behaviors that hide your true self. It's about allowing your authenticity to shine, free from insecurities and harmful patterns that distort how you show up in the world. By the end of this process, you won't just have improved your dating life. You'll have reclaimed your emotional freedom and expanded your ability to form genuine connections in every aspect of life. This is the true personal revolution, silent but profound, transforming not only your external relationships, but fundamentally, your relationship with yourself. Now is the time to act. Don't let this be just another piece of content you consume passively and then forget. Choose one of the habits that resonates with you the most, the one you feel has the greatest negative impact on your interactions, and commit to working on it consciously over the next 30 days. Notice the subtle changes that start to appear, not only in how others respond to you, but in how you feel about yourself. True masculinity isn't about dominating others, but about mastering yourself. It lies in the courage to face your own shadows and transform them into light. It's in the wisdom of knowing that vulnerability isn't weakness, but the deepest expression of strength. It's in the integrity of living aligned with your highest values, even when no one else is watching. This is your call to personal greatness. Not the kind that seeks applause or external recognition, but the silent, powerful kind that reveals itself in the quality of your presence, the depth of your connections, and the inner peace that comes from knowing you're constantly growing into the best version of yourself. The world needs men like this. Women yearn for men like this. And, most importantly, you deserve to live that expanded, liberated version of yourself.